Horror movies are weird. Like, not the concept of watching a film to scare you or to see people get cut up into tiny pieces, because that's definitely not weird. I think it's just that, in general, out of any other genre, they seem to attract the most quirky and out there ideas. I guess that when the roots of your genre lie in psychopaths and swamp gremlins, you're probably going to end up making some wacky stuff. And as a horror movie enjoyer, if you couldn't tell, I've had my own fair share of movies leave me with an aftertaste of, what the hell was that? So today I'm going to walk through what I think are the 3 weirdest horror movie endings I've seen, starting with the late, questionably great, Terrifier 2. Hello horror fans, my name is Spookful, and no, this film isn't in black and white. The directors just made the creative decision to have all the characters permanently coated in 2 inches of blood at all times, so I can barely shout any of it. By the time you get to the finale of the schlocky horror picture show, the fan has already been hit so hard it's broken, and the writers are suffering from heat-borne delusions as they craft the final act. So let's just have a look at the script and see what we've got. Okay, so this is shit. Taking place in an abandoned fairground or theme park. When watching this finale back for the video, I ended up making 2 pages worth of notes of stuff to talk about. So whilst unfortunately, it doesn't mean I won't be able to come up with any vaguely humorous innuendos for Art slicing off a man's honking horn.
Stop! Please stop! Please!
Buddy.
I'm just going to have to skip to the very, very end. Because honestly, what the hell's going on in this movie? Having lured our protagonist Sienna by capturing her little brother Jonathan, who seems a bit old to be calling his parents mommy and daddy, but who am I to judge? Art finally has his grand showdown in Joint Junction itself. Here he does the silliest shove of pure disgust and pushes Sienna down a hole, which opens up to be a bigger hole, that also looks like a medieval dungeon, and she's still somehow alive. Then shit hits the fan when Sienna finds a hatch, and it's a magic door to a dimension of red smoke and people saying their name repeatedly on end, because who could resist that?
Now, say my name.
Sienna!
Speaking of things appearing out of nowhere, Art appears right behind her and stabs her, again, and she stumbles back into the magical portal, and then, okay, I'm not exaggerating, this is genuinely what happens in the last 5 minutes summed up. Art tries to wake Jonathan up for increasingly goofy ways before settling on the old hand in hot water. Oh god, nope, that's just his mouth, he's just eating his hand. Meanwhile, Sienna wakes up in a tank surrounded by gross bloody adult children singing a random nursery rhyme that the guitarist literally thinks is fire. Our Valkyrie protagonist drowns and dies, again. Then Johnny Boy repeats the only line he seems to have in the film and calls her name, which turns the random sword Art stabbed her with that's now sat on the floor glowing red, like it's about to commit crimes against some demons or some younglings. Then our armoured protagonist comes back to life, again, and has an exorcism of power, where she glows red, telling Art to stop all his shenanigans, before climbing out the hole and tying the umbilical vine cord thingy holding her down, grabbing the sword, and just decapitating Art like an 18th century French monarch. Then did I mention Art is being followed around by a demon child this whole time, who takes his head, laughs what I apparently can only assume is an incredible joke on his half. Hey kid, I think I lost my head a bit back there. Her eyes glow yellow like a company losing their once great reputation, and then she just leaves. And then we just get credits, and it's still not done. We cut to an asylum which is perhaps distastefully decorated for Halloween. We get a damn pumpkin spice latte joke.
Please tell me this is pumpkin spice.
Not a chance in hell.
Then the woman from the first movie comes back and scribbles her sailor mouth across the wall. Then she gives birth to Art's head, and then starts eating it, and our villain is still somehow alive and smiling, and then Gordon Ramsay goes into a prison to... Oh wait, sorry. That was Amazon Video Autocue. But still, what the hell was all that? Sure, we know by now that Art's supernatural, but is he so supernatural he can make random doors appear? We get a hint it's Sienna's dad that comes and helps her out at the end because of a prophecy he wrote, so are we just acknowledging that ghosts exist in this world now? Why did the sword glow red? How did she even get out of the hole when she clearly fell a long way in? Did she just dive out the water? Why did Art need to have his head birthed again? It's not like he has a mini Deadpool torso now or anything. He's still just a head. He was a head before. This changes nothing. How are any of these characters still alive? It's like they took the end from a fantasy film, stapled it onto the bottom of this screenplay, and just hit replace all a few times and were like, that is work. Is Sienna a god now? Is Art a demon? Okay, yeah, that's not really a stretch. But the Sienna thing, what is even Tonight's second inverted train track ending that sends the plot engine express barreling into a 20,000 feet deep cavern system full of zombie monsters and coleslaw is Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Hello?
Now, it may come as a shock that in a series so renowned clearly for its linear storytelling, the movie somehow got convoluted, but it happened. I went to see the Fnaf movie with my dad, who knows nothing about it, and he said, quote, "That was pretty good, wasn't it?" But here's the thing, he said that about Morbius in Star Wars Episode 9, so yeah, doesn't comment much on it. Michael Afton, our protagonist, has spent most of the film sleeping whilst his little sister befriends humongous death robots. They're actually really nice when you get to know them. Michael finds out that the robots are actually deceased children, and that being trapped in the fast food restaurant singing 80s classics has pissed them off. So he goes to save his sister, who was just casually picked up by the death robots and just waltzed right into the final act without a care in the world via a taxi. After climbing through a vent that most likely hasn't been cleaned since the 80s, and somehow not coming out so covered in dust he looks like a mammoth, District 12's Baker sees that Chica has taken Abby to the back to show her all the cool costumes she could spend eternity trapped in, for the low price of eternal suffering. Michael Home Alones his way past the first two animatronics before tasing the wannabe Big Bird into a long nap. Our sibling duo then try to flee the Pizza Hut of death, but are stopped by the most brutal animatronic of the movie, a bloody cupcake. Hello! Abby runs off and Mike gives the cupcake a mouthful of electrocution before running back into the main room and oh wait, it's Springtrap time. This scene in particular really divides me because it looks so cool, but on the other hand, a golden bunny was so late for his very important date that he basically appears for the first and last time within the span of 5 minutes. Speed running to the next weird bit, Mike gets tossed around, the rabbit takes off his mask to reveal Stu Macker, William Afton, who is not Mike's dad in this universe. He then just drops that he killed Mike's brother, which seems like the film just wanted us to know that, so I practically had him turn to the camera and explain it for us. Then he stabs his daughter, blah blah blah, and okay, what the hell is this ending? This big bad, supposedly supernatural, ghost-catching serial killer is defeated by Mike running into another room, Abby playing the most intense gothic event of her life, and then through the power of teamwork, she pins up the drawing she drew, Mike shines a light on it for some reason, I don't get that. And then this honestly quite shit doodle, sorry Abby, jogs the animatronic's memory that the yellow rabbit man is actually the guy who killed them. So then they turn to him and he gets bit by a cupcake and his suit locks and traps him inside, just leaving him there. I'm like, okay. They defeated a serial killer with the drawing? They defeated a serial killer with a crayon drawing. The spirits of the children couldn't remember who killed them. That seems like a pretty important fact to carry with you to the afterlife. And the final 10 minutes feels like they just realised their lead actor had been asleep for 3/4 of the movie, and they needed to have the plot go somewhere. So they just spawned all the characters into a room and saw what happened. I know it's not supposed to be taken seriously, but like, why a drawing? And why did the cupcake get the final attack again? Spread the love, please. You can't show me Foxy's hook, and then not have said hook impale someone worthy of being impaled by the hook. The main bad of the film. Finally, we have the reason I made this video in the first place. House of a Thousand Corpses. This film is a literal fever dream, so if you ever want to question your sanity, then just watch this, because what the hell is going on? And this theme of self-doubt and existential confusion is no more prevalent than in the finale. The shit show of a film ends with, there's so much to talk about. Okay, basically up until this point it's been a weird film, 100%, about a group of friends and a paper salesman getting kidnapped into this house that supposedly holds 1,000 corpses, which I doubt looking at the size of it alone. I bet you can only fit like 200 corpses in there. Our kidnappers are an inbred family of distinct personalities, but for the finale we only have two main ones, this ghost looking guy Otis, and we have his sister slash daughter slash aunt slash friend. It's not clear how they're related, it could be all of the above, none of the above, or just some of them. Baby. That's her name, Baby. So first of all, everyone is dressed up, and our protagonists are scampering away in rabbit onesies. One runs off into the woods, and doesn't see the person circling around her until it's too late and she has an unhealthy amount of stab wounds, anything above 1 already inflicted. Okay, calm down Baby, it wasn't that funny of a joke. Then the other two are put into a coffin that's lowered into a watery grave. Treasure. And then there is just zombies. What? I can't stress how unforeshadowed this has been. Why are there puddle zombies? There has been nothing supernatural in this film so far. Anyway, they grab the irrelevant characters, sink back down to sleep with the fishes. let me explain, we don't know why they're being buried at all. We've not been told any of this. Then our final girl gets out of the coffin, is in some random underground tunnel, runs into two friendly looking guys who just rob her bunny costume and waddle off, and apparently she's wearing an Alice in Wonderland cosplay underneath there. Could have at least said something to her guys before you stole it. And she wanders into the corridor. Oh no, oh look, it's the 1,000 Corpses. I guess the title didn't lie. I guess they had to move the bodies underground into this inexplicably large tunnel system that has not been mentioned once before, in order to get the title of the film right. Then Jennifer strolls into an Elden Ring dungeon. Greetings, Tarnished. Also, side note, this guy's job is literally just to stand here forever and open the door. Also, if it seems like I'm running through this, yes, I am. There is so much to unpack here. None of it makes sense. And then we get some weird close-ups of some guys just chilling. Get out of their face, camera guy, jeez. And then we meet the showstopper, a character we only heard about in 2 lines of dialogue at the very beginning of the film that we were told as backstory and was not present or even related to the plot at all. Dr. Bloody Satan. This cyberpunk Muppet guy performing surgery is, I don't know what he is. Why is he here? Why hasn't this film finished yet? Oh god, why are we getting new POV shots all of a sudden? Then this completely random man who was not even mentioned along the side of Dr. Satan. No idea who he is. WWE entrances into the room, and once again, get out of his face, camera guy, we do not need to be that close. And you see, this guy has never been mentioned before. They literally just dragged and dropped the Terminator / Nemesis / a Huntress skin from Dead by Daylight in here because it's cool. And yes, it is cool, but this movie makes me feel like I'm seeing the world through illusion-inducing kaleidoscopes. Our protagonist runs, dodges and hits, she runs some more to a dead end, stops, and then the guy catches up, swings, and she dodges it again. Then our mysterious villain who appeared out of nowhere gets the Debbie Salt treatment and buries himself in the collapsing debris of his own failure. She claws her way out the dirt like a brain-hungry ghoul, flags down her car with, oh wait, it's this guy. Captain Spaulding is another character we haven't met since the first 10 minutes of the movie. He was a bad guy at the start, right? Okay, so then why are you trying to trick us to thinking he's the protagonist? We saw him kill a guy. You're not fooling us into thinking a protagonist. This is not a twist. And okay, wait, pause here. This is my favourite part of the film, genuinely, and not just because it's where it ends, but just watch this and keep in mind I haven't edited this one bit. I laughed out loud the first time I saw that. What even is it? Why is it so silly? Oh yeah, and then she gets taken to a doctor, which must be a private one because there's no way the waiting lists for a brain extraction would be that short in these times. And then it just ends after some very painful to watch random shots. Or does it? Question mark, question mark. Why the question mark movie? You don't have the right to do this when you made the finale out of Jackbox results from a team meeting and a random word generator. You're not clever enough to get to do the question mark thing. Okay, so I rushed through that, so I'll break it down again. Keep in mind, none of this was hinted at before these final 20 minutes. So just imagine your casual Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, except it ends in rabbit onesies, zombies, dungeons, tunnels, Dr. Bloody Satan, a random Terminator, and the silliest ending I've ever seen. Honestly, what the fuck?
He said it! He said it!
So yeah, that was me ranting about some of the horror films I watched recently that made me question my reality and mental state. Thank you for watching. Some more of my videos that are hopefully less ranty are on screen now, and well, apart from that,